Ambassador Zilthax had never imagined he would be the one to make first contact with the legendary Deathworlders. The distress beacon had been broadcasting for 3 cycles now, and the Krillian mining station orbiting the gas giant was running out of time. The solar storm had knocked out their shields, and without protection, the radiation would kill everyone aboard within another cycle. No response from the Galactic Council fleet, his communications officer reported, her antennae drooping with despair. They're still 2 weeks away. Zilthax's 3 hearts sank. 2 weeks might as well be an eternity. Then, a blip appeared on their sensors. Massive, moving fast, and coming straight toward them. "Ship detected," the officer announced. Configuration unknown. They're responding to our SOS. The vessel that materialized from FTL transit was unlike anything in the galactic database. It was angular where galactic ships were curved, brutal where they were elegant. Weapons bristled from every surface, and its hull bore scars from what must have been countless battles. Across its bow, in angular script, were the words, "Terran Federation Rescue Vessel, Indomitable." "This is Captain Rodriguez of the human vessel Indomitable," a voice crackled through the comm system. "We received your distress call. What's your situation?" Humans, the Deathworlders. Zilthax had heard the stories, beings who evolved on a planet so hostile that it had bred them into something the galaxy had never seen before. They breathed corrosive oxygen, drank dihydrogen monoxide, and their world was classified as a Class 12 hazard zone. "Captain Rodriguez," Zilthax began carefully, "we are losing life support due to radiation exposure. Our shields are offline and we cannot evacuate before lethal levels." "Understood. We're on it." Rodriguez out. The human ship moved with frightening speed, positioning itself between the station and the raging solar storm. Zilthax watched in horror as the radiation levels that would have melted their station's hull washed over the human vessel. "They're going to die," the communications officer whispered. "Nothing can withstand that radiation." But the human ship held position. Its shields, impossibly powerful, absorbed punishment that would have vaporized any galactic vessel. Then smaller craft began launching from its bays. "Those are shuttles?" Zilthax couldn't believe it. "They're sending personnel?" Within minutes, human engineers in bulky suits were magnetically clamping to the station's outer hull. Zilthax pulled up the external feeds and watched in fascination as they moved with purpose through radiation that should have killed them instantly. Their suits were crude by galactic standards, thick and ungainly, but effective. "Station Alpha 7, this is Engineering Team Leader Chen," a new voice announced. "We're going to bypass your shield generator and reroute power from your secondary systems. This will be loud. Don't be alarmed." What followed was the most terrifying rescue Zilthax had ever witnessed. The humans didn't gently repair the systems. They tore into them with plasma cutters and mechanical force. They welded, they hammered, they cursed in their native tongue. One human, when his tool malfunctioned, simply hit it against the hull until it worked again. "Barbaric," someone muttered behind Zilthax. But it was working. Power readings were climbing. The shield generators were humming back to life. "Captain Rodriguez," Zilthax transmitted. "Your people are working in lethal radiation. Please pull them back before what?" The human captain sounded genuinely confused. "Oh, the radiation? Yeah, the suits can handle it for a few hours. The real problem is we're racing against that solar flare that's building up. We need to get your shields up in the next 20 minutes or this whole station is toast." 20 minutes. The humans worked with an intensity that bordered on reckless. They moved heavy equipment that would require 3 Krillians to lift. They made repairs that should have taken days in under an hour. When one section wouldn't cooperate, they simply bypassed it entirely and created a new solution on the spot. 15 minutes later, the shields flickered to life. "That should hold you until the Council fleet arrives," Captain Chen reported. "We've also upgraded your power distribution network. You were running some seriously outdated tech." As the human teams returned to their ship, Zilthax found himself speechless. The Indomitable began moving away from the station, its hull scorched and scarred from the radiation bath it had endured. "Captain Rodriguez," Zilthax finally managed, "we cannot adequately express our gratitude. You saved 247 lives today. How can we repay this debt?" There was a pause, then something that might have been laughter. "Repay? Ambassador, we're just neighbors helping neighbors. That's what people do. But if you insist, Tell your council that humanity is ready to talk. We'd like to join your galactic community, properly this time. After witnessing this, Zilthak said slowly, I believe the council will be very interested in speaking with you. Though I must ask, you risked your ship and crew for strangers. Why? Because you needed help, Captain Rodriguez replied simply. Where we come from, when someone sends an SOS, you answer. Doesn't matter who they are. That's the human way. The Indomitable jumped back into FTL, leaving Zilthak staring at the empty space where it had been. Around him, the station crew began celebrating their survival, but he remained transfixed. The galaxy had called humanity Deathworlders as an insult, a warning of their dangerous nature. But Zilthax understood now it wasn't a warning. It was a promise that when darkness came, when hope seemed lost, the Deathworlders would be there, not with elegant solutions or advanced technology, but with stubborn determination, improvised engineering, and an unwillingness to accept that anything was impossible. 3 days later, when the Galactic Council fleet finally arrived, they found the station not only functional but improved. And attached to the main communications array was a small plaque, left by the human engineering team. It read, When in doubt, percussive maintenance. Earth Engineering Corps. Zilthax smiled, a gesture he'd learned from the humans' cultural database. He had a feeling the galaxy was about to become a very different place. The Deathworlders had arrived to help, and somehow that was the most terrifying and wonderful thing that had ever happened.